Oh,
Let's fucking go.
Okay, we are live.
Okay.
Let me send the link.
you're
Oh,
in the broadcast.
yes. And I guess my seating is good to
There's
go.
already 12 people on. Look, people are coming
Hey.
on. So we'll do the whole
Okay.
behind the scenes. I was gonna do the whole me, you know.
Oh, nice. Me. I don't see
Was
the
that
comments. I need to fix
tiger
this.
face, lemon face, ooh, you know. What are they?
Tiger face. Hello, everybody. I
Hello,
think
for
I,
those just joining. Hope
let me see. Hold
Christelle,
on. I'm setting
Ray
it up.
J, Rick J. Glenn.
Rick J. Glenn,
You've been talking
welcome.
all about him. Rick,
Yes.
Aaron's been
Yes.
chatting
What
you
up?
up. Tiger
I've been
faces.
Yes, I've been talking about you, Rick J. Glenn, because first of all, you've been awesome. Thank you so much
Hey,
for all your
buddy.
feedback and your patience because we've had so many oops, sorry, I just kicked my table. We've had so many issues with Safari with the site and just trying to fine tune everything. And Rick J has been amazing. He's been talking to our colleague Rachel, going through all the bugs, and just been so patient. So thank you so much, Rick. We appreciate it. Christelle Egan's in the house. Hi, Tiger Faces. Hey, girl. Hi,
And Jackie
Jackie.
Szymanski, Faith, Family,
Yes.
and Fun Reviews.
There's Rachel Hearn.
Don't be
Hey,
shy. We'll
Rachel.
shout you out if you're in the if you are in the early morning crowd, and you wanna say hi. Hello, Rachel. Hello. We will shout you out.
Yes, we sure
And we
will.
will read birthday surprises, announce
Patrick will
bar
even do a
mitzvahs.
dance, right? A birthday
I
dance.
whoa, 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 whoa,
A
whoa,
little
whoa.
too much. Tiger Face is it. We'll give everyone a minute to join because we started a couple minutes early, but I'm really excited to have you here. Um, Patrick, especially you, because you've been, as usual, traveling all over the world. It was what, New York last
New York, that
weekend?
was a family thing. That wasn't work. That was my nephew's shotgun wedding. I don't even know if I should say it in case any family members on. But yeah, no, that was a trip back home. Good to see the folks. Good to,
Yeah.
but also spent some time meeting some old friends. Believe it or not, my best friend that I grew up with since kindergarten is also in the entertainment industry. He's a Broadway director.
Wow.
And he has this new show Redwoods with Indina Menzel
Oh,
is the
wow.
lead, so he's directing her. Yeah, he's like it was funny because it's like we're on opposite sides ever during COVID when Broadway theater was the first to be hit
I
because you
know.
could have live audiences. He was struggling, and now Broadway has come raging back, and
Mm-hmm.
film and television has taken a hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it went to New York and then came back and was out in Sacramento earlier this week
Yes, we
with
saw at the Capitol representing for us filmmakers in California.
yep, there was a hearing by the assembly members. And this is about the film tax incentive that Governor Newsom allowed or announced back in October. And he announced it, but even though he announced it, that doesn't mean rubber doesn't meet the road unless the California legislature passes it as part of the budget.
Yeah.
So what happened was they held a hearing. The assembly members held a hearing to hear from industry workers, and so all the unions were there. I mean, everybody: WGA, DGA, PGA, IATSE, all the different divisions of IATSE, all the laborers, all the guilds, lighting guild, hair and makeup guild, like everybody was there. There must have been hundreds of representatives showing. And towards the end of the hearing, let's see, Paul Audley from Film LA was there. Believe it or not, he made a very passionate speech about, how much this is going to hurt Los Angeles. And then finally, um they opened the floor up for everybody to speak, and everybody got 30 seconds. And
And I saw
I
yours. I was
yeah,
like
I made
powerful.
the I tried to advocate also. Believe it or not, during this hearing there were people from California's budget committee that actually argued against the incentives. There was opposition there. I guess there always has to be opposition, but it was kind of like, oh wow, they're really like they're really saying this. And I think my point that in hearing this, the thing I wanted to stress is like, hey, they're using facts and figures and spreadsheets, and there's like the numbers and the budgetary, and I'm like, there's a human element that you can't measure in numbers and dollars and cents. And
Yeah.
that's why I wanted to say, hey, I lost two colleagues to suicide. People are losing their homes or leaving the state. This is not just a money and get people back to work. How much this really impacts livelihoods, and to make sure there was an understanding to that. Yeah, really kind of hammering home the mental health aspect of all of this in the downturn.
Which is really important. And I see, I want to just say really quick, hi to Christopher Nation. Hello, hello. Hey, Sean Dawes from Tucson and Marcy's Film Vault. Hello, Jabari Hearn. Hello, hello. And Sean he said they also need tax credits for locations. It would help out a ton. Film LA
Yeah,
is horrid towards indie productions, but I'm
yeah.
glad you mentioned the mental health aspect because it really is taking a toll on people, and it needs to be
Absolutely.
addressed.
Absolutely. And you know what's interesting about Film LA is like I totally get where they come from. It's like one, they're technically not a government affiliated commission. I didn't realize this. They're actually their own private nonprofit.
Yeah.
But the problem that they're facing is they have to raise their rates because there's just not enough film and TV being made. So it's a catch 22. It's like they don't want to raise their rates, but they have to in order to survive. But the other thing we were advocating for with these tax incentives is right now they only cover scripted entertainment, but television and film scripted. They don't go beyond that. They don't cover game shows. They don't cover talk shows. They don't cover
Mm-hmm.
documentaries or animation or commercials, which are more essential to the entertainment ecosphere. So we're saying, hey, you're going to have to open this up. The other thing that they're trying to be careful about is who gets this money. Are you going to give 200 million tax credit to Netflix? They just go, thank you, we're heading out of the California
Yeah.
anyway. We'll make the one $200 million movie here and eat up a fourth of your tax credit. So there's a lot. I mean, the thing is, I think what I do. I haven't seen it from the government side, but the California State Assembly, they are very, very, very cognizant of where tax dollars go,
Yeah.
and to say, hey, we're not, to provide this, we're going to have to take away from this, and
Mm-hmm.
there was one assembly member who was representing Northern California there who was like, hey, yeah, but get in line. The tech industry is hurting too, and we've had
Yeah.
massive downshifts, and who's to say that we shouldn't be putting money towards the tech industry
Mm-hmm.
as well. So that's where I think a lot of people think like, oh, in black or white terms of like, oh, the government just can't see it, but they consider so many other factors. But I think it was a really compelling argument for everybody to be there and pretty much say like, the GDP of California depends on the film and television
Mm-hmm.
industry, and you are going to lose it if you don't do something. So I
Yes.
think they finally started to hear how dire it really was.
Yeah, and thank you for being there, being the voice of the people. Because we, a lot of us couldn't make it, obviously, and couldn't be there to lend our voice. So I saw some of your speech, and I was really touched by it. And yeah, I really appreciate that. So thank
All
you.
right,
And
but
let's hope we get some things off the ground and get some production
I
going
it,
here.
it seemed like it was going in the one direction. A lot of assembly members were like in favor of it, but enough about that. I think we got 31 people here.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they'll still be climbing. Reach out to your friends and colleagues. Let them know that we are live, and we
Yeah.
should start talking about share. What do you think?
Yes, I definitely think so. I was giving people time because I had a couple friends say I'm going to be late because it is 2 o'clock in the day. So we kind of figured
Yes.
it,
Yeah.
But so this recording will also be available later. So we
Thanks,
could,
Sean.
people could watch this on our channel. But first of all, we are a little over 1 week out of our launch, and I just want to give a huge thank you to the community. You guys are freaking awesome. You guys are amazing. And
Mhm.
we couldn't do this without you. Like we built Share for you. And so this last week we launched. We have already almost 650 users on the platform. And this is
Oof.
organically. We haven't done any marketing. We really wanted to grow this organically while we were still also fine tuning a couple of things before we really go out. But you guys have been so incredible. I have a couple people I was wanted to shout out because they've been so great. I already said Rick J. Glenn, Dan Del Fosse, Alias is his name. Thank you so much for creating your project, putting it on share, trusting us with it. It's pretty awesome. He actually has some talent attached to it. So you should check him out on our platform. Jose Zambrano Castella, he's been talking to us and had questions and been very patient as we help him with this project, posters and stuff. Elliot Smith, super awesome. Was, sent Patrick and myself some messages, gave us some
Yeah.
feedback. So we wanted to kind of go into this conversation and really listen to you guys. So we invited everybody to come on board and tell us what you're experiencing and how we can, make the experience on our site better and give you guys the experience and the platform you want and deserve. We talk to our developers every single day, you guys. So we are constantly working on this. And just so you know, they are working right now on our mobile because
Mhm.
we had so many people like I can't sign up, but as we
Yeah.
mentioned, this is built for filmmakers by filmmakers. Our resources have been limited, so we focused on the desktop version first, and now we're
Mhm.
working on the mobile. So I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure that we let you guys know we are working these issues out.
Yeah, you got to crawl before you can walk. There's really four members of the shared team, and a lot gets bottlenecked. It's not that things are not unseen or that we don't we want the mobile. You, in fact, actually, when we launched, the first thing I think I said to Aaron, I was like, "Oh shit, I think people are clicking on the mobile." Because everybody's on their phone looking at this,
Yeah.
being like, "I want to join," and I said, I'm really concerned that we might be losing members just straightly out of frustration of I can't get the mobile. But you really do have to weigh out what you can do at the same time. But hopefully, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Yes.
So, we may not have had our shoes tied, but at least our shoes were on,
Yes,
right?
our
So
shoes are on. And the reason why we decided to focus on the desktop, version first
yeah.
is because most filmmakers have their pitch decks, their log lines, their pictures. You know what I mean? All of that information that they would be putting onto the share platform is usually on their laptop or their computers. So,
Right.
that's something that we thought about when we were weighing out what's important. And we're like, why don't we do the desktop, mobile friendly, and then eventually we'll get to the app. But that's as we build the platform and continue to grow. So we wanted to just let you guys know on that front, the mobile functionality is being worked on as we speak.
Mhm.
And that will be like fully functional soon. Also, we've had a lot of people talk to us about images. We've been working on, project posters and profile pictures and, having some of those issues. We're working through all of that. So as we have a team in Serbia, we have a team in India, and our lead developers in Silicon Valley. So we're up throughout the night working on a bunch of things and trying to address these issues as well. Um, we have people here. I just saw someone from UK, Tanzania. Wow, Great Jones, thanks. So all transactions are in US dollars, and with all the talk about tariffs, will share be subject to tariffs? Oh my gosh. Power Champ, hey, I don't really know how these tariffs are going to affect us. It's
Yeah.
really crazy.
It's I don't think they really affect I mean, this is a good question because we actually talked about this on Tuesday when I was in California State. The United States is different because there's not one national tax incentive program. There's no federal tax incentive. Every tax incentive in the United States, it goes state by state, which is actually part of the problem of why so much is leaving the country, because right now there is no tariffs. If the country was to put tariffs on it, it wouldn't affect anything, because there's no tax incentive program on the federal level. So and then this starts applying to would how do Korean shows like Squid Games then end up being prime U.S. programming? So right now, it's the Wild West when it comes to programming, there's no laws that prohibit or
Yeah.
even help it, and that's why actually one of the bigger problems is that so much is leaving the United States to film outside of the country, because you go to Canada and make, which is 70 cents on the dollar, and you're paying your entire crew two-thirds of what you would pay them in the US. So really, I think if anything, we actually need a federal incentive program to keep production. So actually, it's not the material that's getting taxed, the shows or the movies, whether that's the import and output, but more of, if you are an American production crew and you leave the country, you will be taxed. I think that's really sort of what we would hope to see. But as of now, none of that applies,
Yes,
and I
and
don't see it applying anytime soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
and also too, like right now, Share is set up as a global platform, so we can reach everybody. It's in English right now because we need more funding to translate. Like, we need more fundings. Like, the more investment that we get in Share to go further and faster. Like, we want to make sure that we can take care of all of, like, the money conversions, the different languages. Like, all of these things are tech builds that take
Mhm.
time, they take money. And we've been, literally, there's no VCs behind us. None of us were, born with silver spoons in our mouths. There's no big business. We've been building this by ourselves. We did a friends and family round. We were able to
Mhm.
get enough to get us to this part of the development with Share. And that's, we have a vision of a platform that is exciting and incredible, and we're happy with where we are right now, and we love that you guys are being so patient with us. But we definitely want to get it to a place where it's a more smooth transaction, with people putting up their posters and pictures and connecting with people. We have a lot of
Mhm.
ideas and a lot of things that we're going to do in the tech space for Share. And that does include like global outreach, global campaigns, making sure that people all over the world, wherever you are in the world, we want to make sure that you're able to find your film community, on the platform, that you're able to participate in some of our funding rounds, participate in our other initiatives and some of the partnerships that we're kind of working on right now. We want to be able, that
Mhm.
wherever you are in the world, you're able to do that with Share. So, make sure to right now take a moment to like and comment and do everything, because we're trying to get as many people to this live today so we can address as many questions as possible and have a
Mhm.
discussion and hear what you guys have to say, especially in the film industry. So tell your friends, share the link, let them know that we're live and we're here to answer any questions you guys have.
And this guy, Justin C, actually asked a really great question. He goes, "We love all the talk about
Uh,
equity, but
yes.
who is funding these production budgets? Won't they have something to say about giving out equity?" I will say the good thing about Share is, you actually, in order for the equity to work, your project has to go through Share. You can't just start on Share and then move somewhere else. You have to be committed, and everything goes through. I'll let Aaron sort of, you take the reins.
Yeah.
I'll pass
So,
that to you.
Justin C, welcome, welcome. First of all, uh, one of the things that we talked about when we created Share was the backing points and the equity. Because as we all know, in this industry, there's so many people that were getting paid above the line, and the entire rest of the crew, like 90%, was below the line. So they get off their production and they have to scramble for the next job. I have friends that have worked in this industry for over 30 years on movies that have had Oscar nominations, that have been huge hits. But because they were below the line and had no equity, they got like no residual anything. And so our idea with Share, and our belief, is that every single person that works on a project and contributes to the success of a project should participate in the profit share. But with that being said, Justin, people need money to shoot these projects. How do we do
Mhm.
that? What are we doing? How do
Yeah.
we get funding to people? So this is what we decided. We spoke internally about this forever. How do we get money to people? Well, one of the things we're going to do that no other tech company is doing, whether it is Staff Me Up, Backstage, Mandy Network, IMDb, none of these other platforms that serve the film community give back to filmmakers. Share is different. Our promise is that we will, as we grow, we want you to grow. So we have our community Greenlight initiative. It's going to kick off when we hit our first 10,000 paid subscribers. We're kicking off our first funding round. $100,000, 5 short films, 20K each. The difference with what we're doing and what the big studios do is that we will never decide what projects get picked. Our community will decide, fans will decide, and audiences will decide what they want to get made. So, our goal with Share is not only to create a space where creatives can connect with each other and collaborate and make amazing projects, but to grow the platform so that we could fund your projects, so that we can
Hmm.
actually put money into the hands of filmmakers. And it's not us choosing what gets funded, you guys choose that. So that's how we choose to fund it. But even being on the platform, there's private investors all over. You know what I mean? So just get on the platform, create your projects, even if it's not funded yet. Put your project on there. Start to talk to other people. Go, list all your crew roles, list all your acting roles and your cast roles so that people can submit and you could build your project. Like, what's the word? There's no such thing as luck. It's when preparation meets opportunity. Prepare, get ready. Like, we have some other incentives we want to put out there. We have a lot of things we want to offer to the community. But if no one knows about your project, if no one knows the crew that you need, if no one knows the cast that you need, you can only go so far. So to answer that question, we plan to fund in some of those, you know.
And wait, is that Carl Hansen, producer Carl Hansen, who I worked with on Amazing Race? How does back end piece distributed, and how's it calculated based on the profit? Great question. First of all, how is it distributed? That's actually up to the person who's putting the project on. That's where
Yeah.
your negotiation skills come into play. So if you have somebody who is investing from Share into your project, you work that deal with them. You could pay, the idea is that everybody gets a piece of something. But if you have a massive 300-person crew and you can't give 1% out to everybody, you say, okay, I can give you 0.5%. And that all that is negotiated up front before the project goes into production. And then how it's distributed, I'll kick that over to Rachel.
So one of the things that is interesting is that we had our developers create a backend points calculator. So every time that you add a crew role on Share, you put how many points that you'd like to, give to that role. Obviously, if you have a small crew and you're funding this yourself, you can decide, if you need a VFX because you're doing something horror and that's a big part more than, an editor, the makeup artist, you can decide. That is all up to you. Once it's done and you've agreed and the terms and conditions on our platform, everybody is in agreement, the contract is done, you go and shoot this amazing project. Although the IP is yours, you have the freedom to take it anywhere to ensure the safety and to protect all of our users and all of the crew and cast that worked on your film. Similar to Fiverr and Upwork, all the payments still have to come through Share. So, for
Hmm.
instance, if you're a project creator and you make an amazing project and you talk to someone and you get a deal outside for Hulu, you can't take that check and, skip town. The payments have to come through the Share platform. That's something that you're agreeing with so that when those payments come in, the way that you've had it distributed through your back end points and through the agreement that you set up, every single person that worked on your project will get an email. Like, okay, hey Justin, we saw that you worked on this movie called The Sun in the Sky, and it just sold to Hulu. Congratulations! Check your account in a couple of days and transfer your money over to this. So all those residual payments will always come through Share. That's how that's going to work. Just so you know. So it's nothing that, as a project creator, even though I'm sure that you can handle it yourself and you could take care of it, just to protect everybody on the platform, like I said, we have to do it ourselves to make sure everyone is
Hmm.
guaranteed the pay that they have agreed to, work
Yeah.
towards.
Yeah,
We
there's
didn't have to
no
work that
there's
way.
no weird accounting that, that's
No.
one of the problems with our industry right now is that, people we actually were just talking to a studio distribution officer earlier today, both Aaron and myself, and one thing he said was it's funny that these profits all seem to disappear with very successful movies as studios tend to shift the accounting around, and all of a sudden, we're actually the profits of this one movie is actually paying off the debt of another. And that shifty accounting, which has haunted the entertainment industry
Oh
for
yeah.
so long. And that's actually why we're having such an incentive drought in California, believe it or not. It's because the rightfully so, the California state wants its money accounted for because it's taxpayer dollars. But because Hollywood has been so shifty, especially there used to be tax incentives for reality shows. The state took it away because
Hmm.
these companies couldn't prove where the money was being allocated. So that's one of the things why share is so important, where it's like, hey, we're going to make sure that people own up and the money is going exactly where it was allocated for, and those deals stay true, so nobody's getting bamboozled, I guess, at the end.
Yeah, full transparency. Sorry, my
Full
table is
transparency.
shaking. Sorry about that. Full transparency. So, because just so you guys know, I am a filmmaker. I produced a film in 2018, 2019 finished post production. 2020 thought we were gonna take it and it was gonna explode, but we got hit with COVID. And so all of the streaming platforms that we had planned with our distributor to hit was now being hit by Hollywood and big movies. So we couldn't even hear back from people. It was really crazy. And we've been on Apple TV, Peacock, we've been on, Amazon, and the checks are ridiculous. Like, I mean, and they don't there's no transparency. You'll get a check and say, "Well, how many?" They don't give away those numbers. It's like, "Wait, what? What are you
Yeah.
talking about?" Like, that is
Yeah.
absolutely ridiculous. So, whether it is a distribution deal where, a project is licensed, or there's like one big check and it comes through, or
Hmm.
how it works. um our goal and our promise is to be transparent with filmmakers, so you guys see that. And as I speak about that with distribution too, like, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we are really trying to build this channel up. Like, as filmmakers, again, you have the freedom to take your project wherever you want, as far as getting and securing a distribution deal. But we want to help in the sense of that, if you cannot do that, we're working to monetize our YouTube channel, so that if you have a short film, a music video, a feature that you're not having any luck anywhere else, you can upload it to the share channel and make money that way. And the reason why we did that is because when everything failed for us during COVID and we couldn't get it anywhere, we tried to do it ourselves on YouTube. And it was like, you got to monetize, you got to do this, you got to have enough content for the algorithms. It was really, really tricky. And so we said, well, we should make a channel so that filmmakers always have an opportunity to make money, to monetize their work, whether it is a short. I had someone ask a question in there. Oh, darn it. The questions are coming so quick, they kind of moved away. But it was
Yeah.
about how small of a project. And it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have funding, by the way, like, let's just say that you don't have any money. You want to offer someone back in points. You have a great idea, but you need an editor, director, maybe 6 people on a crew, and you want to, buy them lunch and whatever you can. I mean, Christopher Nolan did it. So many people have done it. So let's not look down upon that. But there are people that say, hey, I can do 3 days and I like this
Hmm.
project. And you can negotiate back in points that way, even without a budget, get to work. And then again, Netflix is buying shorts right now. If you find a way to monetize your work, you guys could split that money on the back end as well. However you see, you want to do it as a project creator. However you want to do it, basically, it's up to you. So let's see. You guys would meet with Lightcast. They're the devs who built Hulu and Roku. Okay, Rick J. Glenn. Yeah. Obviously. I mean, we would love to. We want to partner with a lot of people. And I have to tell you guys, and Patrick could speak on this as well. Since we launched, it's been incredible, the response from the filmmakers. But what's been really surprising is all of the businesses and vendors
Hmm.
and studios. I mean, we have had so many emails. We still need to get back to some people, but a lot of
Yeah.
people have stepped up, like, hey, I have a prop house here, I have a studio in Georgia, we want to offer this percentage off. I mean, we have a huge giveaway we'll talk about in a little bit. But we've had so many vendors, and we had to think about this because we're filmmakers, so we've been in the headspace of making movies and series, but they're part of our community too. They're a
Hmm.
huge part of our community, and they're suffering just like
Yeah.
the rest of us. Their businesses are going out, and they're losing businesses. And so we have a marketplace on our website, and we're inviting them to join our marketplace to serve you as a
Yeah.
filmmaker. So, think about that. We're adding vendors. We're just getting started. We're going to be adding a list in cities and places all over the world.
And
But
they'll
yeah,
get, and there's other platforms that are also interested in working with our platform. The dirty word AI it comes up a couple times because where AI can be helpful for producers is like doing movie budgets.
hmm,
And there's a company called Saturation which does, kind of a one-stop shop in terms of monetary logistics for producers,
yep,
and they want to team up with us. So, we're something where you pay the share fee and you don't have to pay fees, or again, you get help with other vendors. The idea is that, all of this is sharing resources,
hmm,
which we as filmmakers know we've been competing against each other this whole time. And the whole time everybody's getting robbed, and we didn't realize that we're all fighting each other for the scraps. But now we're at a point where it's like we're stronger together, so if we're sharing resources, that's going to help your movie, that's going to help my movie,
yep,
and all ships rise, right? So these partnerships, yeah, there's a lot of people that want to work with us, and there are a lot of like movie budget websites. There's only one share. And
hmm,
that again is sort of like the issue of why we're not fully coming out the gate, as we're being very mindful and careful, because we know that we got lightning in a bottle. We don't want to trip and break this. So,
right,
but at the same time, we also, we're slowly trying to build it. We also want people to understand that we're coming from an altruistic place. I understand what being burned in this industry feels like. We all understand that. And we all know, like, this kind of dollar and a dream, hope and a prayer that we all kind of cling to, can easily be taken advantage of. But one thing that I've talked to Aaron extensively about is I've been on Staff Me Up, I think, since I was like a PA. And that's 14.99 that comes out of my account monthly. But, to this belief that something is going to pay off. And it's been 20 years of this, and I may have gotten like 2 emails off of Staff Me Up, but I willingly shell out this money.
yeah,
Why? Because it's like, well, otherwise I feel like I'm out of the game if I'm not part of it.
yep,
So, one of the big things is at least share is a community. One, it doesn't cost as much as Staff Me Up, but you're putting money into it that actually pays off other shows. So your the fee that you're paying isn't, it doesn't go into the nether sphere. You actually see, your tax dollars at work.
hmm,
And then that money will eventually hopefully go to fund your project one day too, if it gets kind of, voted in the system. And we're not saying that's also going to be the only financial model
right,
for people on share. We're also looking at brand integration and how to connect brands, as commercial is kind of going the way of the dinosaur, and we're looking into more brand centric storytelling. That maybe there's a, L'Oreal wants to team up with a female director who's making a women's empowerment movie. Like, that's
yeah,
the connections. There's no structure for that either, and that's where we're seeing our business head to. So we're looking to also develop this. Remember, we're laying track as we go. So,
yep,
and sometimes we come across a mountain, we're like, fuck, shit, this is going to take a little bit longer. We're going to have to blast through it. But, we are going, we are moving. The train has left the station. So that's the best way we can kind of discuss what's going on.
yep.
Woof.
And no, no, but you know what? I really want to stress, and what I've been trying to really uh explain to our community is that we're creating a whole new economy, a creative economy. And
Yeah.
that's where, there are distributors that are also, like Angel Studios that are breaking the molds of Hollywood. They're doing different things. And there's vendors. And it's like, if we go to these vendors, they offer us the discounts and we keep their businesses alive while they give filmmakers, a discount so that they can use some of their services, especially independent filmmakers. It is like a
Hmm.
circle. It just goes. We all create this creative economy, and as
Yeah.
share grows, because yes, we are a platform for filmmakers, but we are a tech startup company. And the more that we grow, like you guys know what's made billionaires in this country is tech. You know what I mean? But we don't look at it that way. We're like, as we grow our platform and go all around the world, our goal is to give back, is to keep this industry that we love alive. It's dying. It's practically on life support. We all know it.
Mhm.
But we're here to fight to keep it alive because this is what we all love to do. This is our passion. Like you talk about your 8-year-old self and the movies you would make, the Paris. We'll talk about
Okay,
that
I got to
another day.
jump in because I see. Okay,
Oh
Justin
yeah.
C just wrote, yes, Angel is killing it with their model for faith-based films. And guess what? We kind of talked to Angel. Not going to say too much, but
Yes.
the funny thing is they know about us and we definitely know about them, but
Mm,
they're very aware of our model too.
yep.
And they are open to making, movies based on, I think their motto is movies that have light. So yes, that
Yeah.
does cover faith-based films, but I think they have nothing that says that they're a faith organization, but they're looking for films that are altruistic or, lift people up. That's, you don't expect zombie or horror movies on Angel Studios. But still they have a model that is a successful model. They have 1 million investors, they call angel investors,
Mm-hmm.
to get movies made. But Angel is also a big distribution company and less of a production house. That's where we come in, is that we are catering towards filmmakers. Angel Studios caters towards audiences. So we kind of see, they're coming from the audience angle and pushing in, and we're coming from the filmmaker angle and pushing in. So that's where we see a lot of sort of synergy between us.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's like, yeah, we obviously we're not just focused on that, but that's one avenue. If you
Hmm.
have a, family friendly project or kids project, that's one avenue where we could partner up and do something there. We want to get with a lot of these different companies and distribution companies to help you guys get your projects, seen
Hmm.
and get it sold. And so there's a lot of conversations to have. But like I said, it's our own economy. If we show up, if you go and tell your friends about Share, your colleagues, everyone in the industry, show up,
Hmm.
become a part, like we can disrupt the system. And that's what we've been
Yes.
doing. We've done the hard work. We've been working our asses off to get this platform and we're so proud of it. And we love you guys because you guys are in it. Like we have so
Yeah.
much feedback from you guys. We got an email the other day and all it said was thank you, thank you, thank you. We're like, oh my gosh, people are like, we've been waiting for this. We've been waiting. And so we're super excited about that. And wait, hold on. I have Kalam Medium. Hello and welcome. Is there a vetting process for filmmakers to ensure they are real before someone gives money? Very good. Yeah. So
Mhm.
basically, similar to uh, Uber and Airbnb, like when you are ready to do your production and you do that, we're working with our developers right now where you kind of put in your driver's license and you make sure like who you are. We also have in our terms and conditions because safety is our number one concern. So,
Mhm.
one of the things we want to do is when a project is actually complete and it's ready to go, we're going to host your first production meeting Zoom with one of our members so we can have conversations about safety protocol, making sure if you are meeting someone, you don't meet them by yourself, like you kind of go into a coffee shop because we do want to make sure that, safety and people, there's a lot of bots out there and stuff. It's a lot going on. So we're working with our developers constantly to upgrade our safety protocols. It's in our terms and conditions. But
Mhm.
yeah, we will have those checks and balances made. And it's similar to, staff me up and, any of those things. Mandy, when there's a production or something put on there, you have to vet it. And so we're doing the same thing with all of our users. And speaking of that too, one of the things that we wanted to make sure that people knew is that like when you have a production on Share and you get funding, we're also talking to and Saturation, one of the companies that we spoke with, they're working on like a payroll service and whether it's entertainment partners, like right now when you have your production, if you go through SAG or any of these companies, you work with like an entertainment partners where you give them your budget and they send out a paycheck every week to the people on the
Mhm.
project. We're doing the same thing. You know, and we don't want to reinvent the wheel because these companies have been doing it and they're great. So we're actually talking to a lot of these companies right now. So if you do get the funding, it's not going to go to the project creator for them to send it out. It's going to come through Share, and either through our company or through one of our partners, whether it be, you know, an I mean, there's so many right now that do payroll services, so that we can ensure that the payments go to the wallets and to our users instead of somebody outside of the platform managing the money, because that could be a recipe for disaster as well. So to answer that, killing media, yes. So let's see, would love to chat directly. I've been in finance for 20 years and just produced my first project. All the WF moments as I've learned this business, you're all addressing. Yes. Those
and
what the fuck moments. Yes, we've all had it.
and my and my best fail, yes, we're not just concentrating on features and shorts. We're concentrating on everything. If you have a series, if you have a documentary, hell, if you even bring in music or animation, like that's the one thing. And actually, it's funny because Aaron comes from the film world. I come from the TV world.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of this discussion when we first were meeting, because I think Share was originally geared for strictly filmmakers, and I said, "Well, hold on a second,
Yeah.
because like 60% of my buddies are out of work too, and this, and there's a lot in the unscripted world, and we should be making this for anybody who is a creative or a creator,
Yeah.
and no matter what their project that they want to build, it should be all for creatives. But speaking, because I think we really should get to this point, we should say, of building a better Share and having people invest in it.
Yes. 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 Here we go, guys. So, we started a WeFunder campaign that is now live. You know, like I said, we've been working on this, and we've had a friends and family round. We've been fortunate enough to have some smaller investments come in, or big investments for us. But you know, when we were looking at the big picture of what we needed to raise for the platform that we've been envisioned, and that we want to present to the world, that can scale and be global, we need funding. And
Mhm.
as we go, talk to VCs and big businesses, and we're in these meetings, it's just been a little, tricky. And one of the things that we talked about, and actually in our last live, we had a lot of people asking how they could invest. We've even had people
Yeah.
send us messages, hey, when can you guys, I want to invest in this. How do I invest? So we decided to do a WeFunder campaign, where
Mhm.
we are giving filmmakers an opportunity to own a piece of Share for as little as $200. I have friends even asking me, like, I don't have 20,000. I wish I could invest. I'm like, well, let's make it so that they can, because as we've been saying, this is built for filmmakers by filmmakers. So with the
Yeah.
WeFunder campaign, we give filmmakers an opportunity to come in, own a piece of this. You guys have voting. We have like voting rights. It's really awesome, but we keep it in the hands of the filmmakers. And
Yeah.
that way we can scale, we can all the things. I mean, it is so layered. I thought filmmaking was hard, but tech is so hard and
Mhm.
challenging, because there's so many layers to this. There's so many things that we have to keep adding to the platform in order to serve you guys and to give you guys the best experience, and also to make it successful so that you're successful. So we
Yeah.
launched it. You could check it, I believe, down in our description. There's a link there. If you click the link, it'll take you to our WeFunder campaign, where there's all the information there that you need to know
Mhm.
about our campaign, our platform, our team,
Yep.
everything. It's even some of our financials. It's a lot of information in there, but it's very transparent. And if we grow this platform and we build this, we will disrupt the system. We will
Yes.
invest in your films. We will do everything that we are promising, that's you see on our website, that we
Yeah.
believe that can change this industry, and give us all sustainable careers, and give us an
It,
opportunity to grow. Go ahead. I'm
We're
sorry.
putting our money where our mouth is. You know,
Yeah.
how many times have we had this conversation, especially amongst us, you know, colleagues of, the industry's got to be better. They got to do this. It's always they got it, they got to, you know, and
Yeah.
they're not. They being the, you know, the studios and the companies that have been running this industry, and they've run it into the ground.
Yeah.
And it's not even us that are driving these ships. It's people that are not part of our industry that don't even
Nope.
understand the product that they make. There,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason why these things are crashing. That the products are not as good as they want to be. How many times as a creative, it's like, and this is, I think, sort of the same deal with the venture capitalists with share. It's like you want to make something as pure as it can be, and then once it gets past to this money funding round where people want to start investing, then they want to start pulling the project apart. It's like what got the project interested is now working against it because, you know, somebody who was an accountant
Oh,
or a bank owner is like, I want to be a movie producer and I'm going to put this creative spin on it. We all cringe and we go, and it makes our head hurt. But now
yep.
it's like we should be owning our own projects, and that's
Mm-hmm.
how films used to get made. That's what built these Tarantinos and the Nolans. There's no way they can exist in this ecosystem now, because of those films. You know, it's always that like unicorn, that one Sundance that maybe finally gets attention. But the thing is, I mean, I'm looking at Severance, and why is that such a big hit on TV right now? Because it's original storytelling.
Yeah.
It's a unique look, and Apple has really been sort of one of the few actually streamers that is like, no, we don't have to rush everything, and we're gonna have slow pacing and unveil a story as it's going. So
I'm
the
here for
thing
it
is,
too.
like, just let the creatives create. Just
Yeah.
let them make their own masterpieces. Let's stop having all these like I guess what's the thing in the Olympics where you have the jump hurdles? Thank you.
Hurdles.
That let's stop jumping all these hurdles, because every hurdle, and then it's a hurdle, and then it's a bus you got to jump over, then it's a 13-foot wall you got to jump over. And while you're doing this, you're giving pieces of of yourself away. You're making these sacrifices, and we were actually talking about this earlier. You make so many sacrifices as you're going down the field that by the time you're at the 1 yard line, there's just little of you. There's so little of you left, but you're willing to sacrifice that last piece that would give you any power or leverage just to get the ball on the goal line, because you want to see your project gets made. You know, we didn't enter this industry to make money. We entered this industry because we're storytellers and we love making these projects, and that's why we get crushed, because we go, yes, we will do anything to get this made, and then you make these sacrifices, and these studios just take advantage of that, and now there's nothing left.
Yeah. And
So
yeah.
yeah, so I think that's why it's imperative for us to sort of shake up the system and make sure that everybody does fairly get what they deserve. There's plenty of money in this industry, and
Oh.
there's plenty enough for everybody to eat at the table.
Oh yeah, especially when like the you see like the executives getting their bonuses and all this stuff, like
Yeah,
making
or
millions
I
of
mean David
dollars.
Zaslav with his hundred and
Oh,
sixty million dollar salary
oh,
while he's cutting thousands and thousands of workers.
and our
It just doesn't.
people are losing their houses, going bankrupt. I was talking to my friend, amazing director Barbara McDonough, and she was telling me just today, like she has friends that had to go into real estate, you know, and they're choosing different jobs. There's people now doing DoorDash and Uber, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just saying that
Mhm.
there's actually there's a really bad it's just really bad, you guys. And
Yeah.
I'm going to be as frank as possible because I just want to really drive a message home is that we have had overwhelmingly positive feedback, but we also get some people that come in and say like, oh yeah, well here's the money grab and here's this and here's that, or you know, like what's next, and you know, why should we do this? And it's like, you guys, Hollywood
Haters are
ain't,
gonna hate.
haters are gonna hate, but at the end of
Haters are
the
gonna
day,
hate.
Hollywood's not stepping up to do anything for you. They haven't created a platform with their blood, sweat, and tears. And like what we've been trying to just really get everyone to understand is like we showed up and all we need is for you to show up, you know, and really, even if you can't, you know, be a pro member, join the movement. This is a movement here. Join, put your projects on. just show up and let them know that we are here, we exist, and we have power. There's power
Yeah.
in numbers. And so I
Then-
really, really want to stress that to people, is that we have a lot of people that are cynical, and I get it, because this industry is full of so many, so many people.
Cynical people.
Disappointment, yeah,
Yes, and
disappointment,
there's so much
yeah,
heartbreak, and that we only
yes,
get by on our dreams at some point, and that's I think why that's why so many of us look at LA through rose-colored glasses, and people come from out of town and I go, why do you love this stucco, you know,
oh yeah,
strip mall city? And you go, you just don't see what we see. We see because we see the talent, we feel that energy, and we know what the energy is, and
yeah,
we know where when it feels right, and we know what is right. And one thing I have to say about this industry is, believe it or not, there's a lot of empathy. And I think we're starting to share more of that empathy now because we've been competing against each other for so long.
right,
But now that it's all of a sudden, you kind of like, it was like the veil was lifted, and it's like we all see that we're fighting the same fight, and suffering the same struggle. And it's like, oh wait, hold on, you're not my enemy. You're actually my friend and my colleague.
mm-hmm.
And our enemy is the person that's barely, feeding the trough, and or the well is getting less and less, but the person who's holding the faucet is
Oh,
well above us.
oh yeah,
So
they're on a private
that's
jet.
where I think a lot of people are waking up to, for sure.
Yeah, they're on a private jet, Patrick, like flying somewhere, just looking at the bottom line. And yeah,
I
I
wonder
just
what
saw
the poor people are doing today. I
yeah,
don't know.
exactly.
They're
And
making
wait,
our
I just saw
movies.
Narissa Williams Scott. Hello, hello, welcome. And she said, I know I can produce a film for 5 million. I love that. I want to say too, we have a friend who is head of production at A24. And one of the things he told us, advice he gave us, was that we can independent filmmaking works. You don't need these
Mhm.
crazy budgets. You don't need these huge budgets to make amazing films.
Look what
And
just won the best picture Oscar, was made on a $6 million budget.
yep,
Not the
yep,
200 million Joker 2 fail. $6 million won an Oscar.
yep. Best picture. And so when you think about that, and not even though some, 300,000, 500,000, like, we want to let people know, like, you don't always have to have that $5 million budget either. It's like, get to work, get started on these things. Like, you can make great content with micro budgets. It's like the system is changing. And then you get the community together with all this talent and back end points, because when you're offering people stock and equity in your company, they're working even harder to make sure that the project is successful. And when they leave that project, unlike the regular traditional model where they're scrambling to find the next job, the rap party's done, see you later, let me go find out what my next gig is. They're going to post about this, they're going to post about it, they're going to talk to their friends and family. So the they're gonna spread the word of your project. So it's a lot to be said there. I'm sorry I pivoted, but I just saw that post there and I had to say that. But anyway, we do have a We Funder campaign. We're talking to, again, to people we know, our colleagues, and we're inviting everyone to the opportunity to own a piece of it, to help us build something that will disrupt the system, that will change things, that will put money into the hands of filmmakers with our funding. We have some great partnerships, which I will go into that right now. We've been, like I mentioned earlier, we've been contacted by tons of vendors and businesses, but we were contacted by Mr. Gray Jones, who I believe is Graham Gray Jones, excuse me, who I believe is in the comment section. I don't, yeah, he was there. Are you still there, Gray? Anyway, has done over 325 TV and film credits. He's the owner of drivingfootage.com. He's been following Patrick for a while. And I mean, he has an amazing story, by the way. He is like the Forrest Gump in the film world, you guys. His life story is so incredible. But we've been in contact with him and having a lot of discussions. He's been giving us a lot of advice. So we brought him on our advisory board. He has a company called drivingfootage.com, where they do driving plates, and they have the world's third largest library of driving plates. And if you guys don't know what that is, just let me just give you an example. For my film that we did, I feel like we spent maybe $6,000, $5,000 to $6,000 on a scene in a car where we had to have the trailer follow us with the mics and miking everybody up, cameras on the car windows on the top, and it's a lot of money. And major studios usually charge around $3,500, or major companies, excuse me, charge $3,500, and he charges $2,500. But again, as someone who loves this industry, who loves what we're doing, believes in share, and has now come onto our advisory board, he has agreed to give away a driving plate worth $2,500 to our first 200 pro subscribers. So, which is incredible. That's over $600,000, or about $600,000 worth of merchandise that his company is going to give to help boost, share and your production and everything that you're working on. And so, even if you're an actor and you're not a producer, you have a year to use the driving plate. And one of the things that you can do is you can actually offer it to a project that you want to work on. You could gift it to someone else, so that can maybe help you secure the role if you're an actor or a crew, or even help you negotiate back-end points. But it's incredible what he has. I don't think he's on anymore. I think he might. Oh, there he is. There's Gray. Between vendor discounts and cast and crew negotiating, lower rates in exchange for back-end points that will help lower budgets. Exactly. So anyway, Gray is he's really incredible. He has a lot of experience. He's worked on so much. He has a lot of connections in this industry, and has really spoken to us about how so many people that he's working with that had lucrative businesses have not worked. And again,
Hmm.
how that industry is suffering as well. And so we're really excited about that. This is launching on Monday, when our pro membership is available, which is $9.99. So the 9.99, 120 a year if you want to do whatever, is still way less than $2,500. I don't know if you guys know really how that works, but when you see these films and these projects that have amazing scenes in a car, just know that's
Hmm.
really, really expensive. So
Yes.
what he's
Yes.
offering, that these driving plates are huge, and it could cut a lot out of your production costs, and they look incredible. So go to drivingfootage.com, and you could see under contest all the details. You could look at the library, you could see what they got, because we checked it out. We were super impressed with what they have. And I mean, we're going to use it for some of our projects that we're putting on the platform. And hopefully, with some of the projects that we do with Community Greenlight, we can also use these services. But it's really, really awesome. It's incredible. And then we're going to have the information on our platform too on Monday, so you can continue to see that. But yeah, our first 200 paid subscribers, pro members, will get this for free. And there's additional bonuses too. So check it out. He has some other
Hmm.
giveaways. So this is one of the first. So again, he is one of our first partners, I should say, that has stepped up to help the film community. So thank you, Gray, for that, because
Yep.
that's a big, big deal for independent filmmakers. We all know that funding, budgets, everything is our first concern. Later, it's distribution, but first, it's getting the money we need to make the movie magic.
Oh, where
And
is the link to the actual platform? It's www.theshareplatform.com. Oh, anyway, there's share. Look at the
yeah,
little share bot.
yeah, and oh yeah, there, we'll put that down there. And
Share
also too,
bear.
just so you guys know, everyone that enters too will also, or signs up, will also be entered into a draw for much bigger prizes, for like an additional $60,000 worth of additional prizes from
Mhm.
drivingfootage.com. So definitely check out the site, sign up, and let us, or go to our site too on Monday and
Mhm.
join our site. But one of the other things you got to do is just become a pro member, and then subscribe to the Driving Footage newsletter. That's it.
Mhm. Yep.
That's it. First 200 people. Soon as we get it, we'll be sending you a message letting you know you got a driving plate waiting for you,
Perfect.
which is
And I
really
love
exciting.
Robin. Thank you. I'm a Canadian and hoping to this can be something for Canadian filmmakers. And look, we're trying
Oh,
to build an
yes.
international community. That's the other thing too, is
Yeah.
like we don't want this just to be an American company. We want this to be worldwide. We want people to be using Share in Australia or Europe or Africa or Asia. That this is something that we're just basically changing our model. Look at Christelle. You guys are amazing. Just invested.
Yes.
Let's
You just
fucking
invested.
go.
Let's go. Thank you, Christelle Egan.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. And I'm going to be
Yes.
putting the link on now that we've announced it. I'm going to put the link on my LinkedIn, and just make sure that everybody knows like, hey, share the link with everybody. And this is us trying to take our industry back. We
Yeah.
know it's not working. We know it's broken. This is literally the chance for the creatives to take that creative model and actually apply it to the creator economy.
Yes, and Robin W. I love Canada. I'll be in Toronto soon. We're actually planning an activation at TIFF. And one of the first places that, we do want to expand is Toronto, Vancouver. There's a lot of productions there, but with our ear to the ground and talking to a lot of the community we know there's a lot of independent filmmakers that are suffering there as well. So Cher will be there. We're going to talk to our developers about making sure when they sign up, like, without putting a zip code and just putting your email address, you could join now before we expand to other countries and other cities. But yeah, we're super excited. That's one of the biggest issues right now. Filmmakers don't understand, have exposure towards the global markets. They don't know how much foreign markets affect indie films. Absolutely, Sean. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And as we grow, we want to start to provide that information. And that's another thing. Like, I have a project I'm putting on the platform that I did years ago. It's called It's Happy Hour Somewhere. It's interesting because I was trying to find happy hours in LA, couldn't find it, but I realized when I was in France, there's all these places where, they offer discounted food, and so it's like a travel food show. And I was thinking it'd be really cool for somebody to go and find crew in different cities, whatever, we're working on a host, and I have some friends in the culinary world. But that's, something too. You could be traveling to Australia or something and say, I want to shoot something while I'm there, log on to Share and find people, wherever you are. So super
Yeah.
exciting. You guys, we are going to be cutting this down, I guess, in just a second because we understand we got people going back to work. But we wanted to just thank you all for joining us today,
Thank you.
and for your support. And
And I'll
a
be
big
sharing my project too soon. Don't
yes,
think
we
I'm
have a
not. This is like Hair Club for Men. I'm not just part of Share. I'm also going to be a client, but that'll be sooner than later. We'll be announcing that.
Yes. And just again, thank you to the community. You guys are
Yeah.
amazing. We're working as hard as we can day and night to get
Thank
this
you.
up. So please continue to give us your feedback because we're here for it. Any issues you have, we're working to get the platform as tight as possible. Spread the word. Again, you can invest in Share, you can become a pro member, or just join the community. Just come and join our community. Let Hollywood know that we're here. We ain't going nowhere, and we're fighting for our industry. We're going to take it back. Gray Jones, thank you so much. Our pro membership is only $9.99 a month to join. You can join for
Mhm.
free on Share, but literally the moment that you want to participate in profit sharing, you want to submit yourself to projects, or you want to create your projects, you got to subscribe to $9.99 a month. And again, the first 200 people that do so on Monday will get a driving plate worth $2,500. So we're really excited to provide that. We thank you, Gray Jones, for that awesome, awesome promotion. We thank all you guys that showed up today. And if
Mhm.
you have any more
Thank you.
questions, reach out to us.
And,
We'll see you
and we're
guys.
going to be doing these lives more often. Again, just what startup do actually talks to their patrons to get feedback. Again, we are trying to be as communal as possible. So, if you have issues with the site, or if there's something where you guys, hey, you should add this. I had a whole group of people who told me like, hey, you're not putting film accountants on your site. And it's like, oh, well, you're totally welcome. Sorry,
Yeah.
but film
Yeah.
accountants aren't always at the top of my list. But
Yeah.
it's like, I'm so sorry I did what everybody does with film accountants, which is forget them. But the
Yeah.
thing is, they have a point. The point is everybody's welcome. And the point is, hearing that feedback, I go to Aaron, I go, hey, we got to have the bar for film accountants and film finance too. So
Oh,
that's exactly, this is why we do this. So we'll be doing more lives more later on. Probably be on Thursdays. Maybe we'll get in a rhythm of a certain time of day, a certain time of week. But we couldn't build this platform without you. So please spread the word. Tell your friends. Say, hey, do you want to invest in this share thing? We can actually be owners of it too. We can actually have a participation in this. It's open to everybody. It's not just our platform. It's everybody. It's all filmmakers and creatives platform.
yeah, and really quick, H Grinker, yes, how early? We're going to be kicking this off at like 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're in California on Monday morning. So it'll be as soon as we're able to go. As soon as we do that, I'm sorry, you'll be able to log in and become a pro member. Right now, you can't become a pro member. We wanted to give all of our users 2 weeks for free. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Not only because we're fine tuning, we wanted to get the site as great as possible, but we really wanted people to get in there without having to, you know, uh, cough up anything and check us out and see what we're all about and see how we work and what we're doing before we charge the $9.99. But starting Monday, March 10th, you can become a pro member. And again, the first 200 will get that driving plate. So we'll look forward to seeing you on the platform.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your
Thank you,
time. I won't keep it up
everybody.
anymore, but
Yes,
love you all.
yes, love to all you guys. Be safe, love each other, be kind to each other. All right. Yay. Bye, Patrick. Thank you so
Yay.
much. Thank you for your time, too, P. We'll talk to you soon. Bye,
All right.
everybody.
See ya. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you.